What is the right definition of passive income? I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to unveil the myth behind passive income on this edition of the Unlock Success Podcast.
This is the Unlock Success Podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to another episode of the Unlock Success Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to give you the tools you need to grow your business, not only bigger, but faster and smarter. And what we do is primarily help you shift your mindset, right? There's a ton of YouTube channels and videos and things out there with strategies and methods to help you start your own online business. I have an entire playlist on my YouTube channel actually that's dedicated to affiliate marketing strategies, and then other videos that tell you how to launch and sell a course and do more digital marketing. And in the next few weeks, I'll even be recording videos on how to grow your YouTube channel from scratch, right? So while I'm knocking out all these methods and strategies, and I'm teaching all of these things, I just see the massive importance in learning the mindset skills that you need to push through things when things are not perfect, when they're not going great, when they're tough, right? Or even to set maybe proper expectations about your business, right? And speaking of proper expectations, today's episode talks about just that, right? It's called the myth of passive income. If you search passive income on YouTube or in Google, you're bound to find a ton of controversy around this phrase, right? Some people think it doesn't even exist and we shouldn't even use this term anymore. Others think it does exist, but it doesn't replace consistently working on your business, right? And then there's a few others that say passive income exists, it's easy to obtain, and you can make millions of dollars doing nothing, even if you, I guess as long as you have the right strategy. So as long as you have the right strategy, the right training, the right education, the right path, you can make that happen. Obviously, I think the last one there is just completely dead wrong. That's why I just kind of flubbed when I was talking about it, because it's just not true, right? At least in my opinion. And the first two, I think, might be a little bit too critical, So what I want to propose today is a different definition of passive income. And hopefully this will help you maybe set better expectations and give you a roadmap, no matter what your business model is, right, to working towards true passive income in your life. So here's my definition of passive income. Passive income is when doing the same action over and over again has the ability to compound your wealth over time. To put it more maybe bluntly, passive income is this. It's small actions that create compounding wealth. Okay, think about that. And here's what I mean by that. When you work a job that pays you per hour, you're essentially paid for every hour you work. So the amount of money you make is directly tied to how many hours you're able to work. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with this model. It's worked for years and given people great lives. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But it isn't passive in the sense that those hours you put in will never compound. They'll only give you money relative to your hours, right? With passive income strategies, you're still putting in the hours to work, but those hours become more and more valuable as your wealth begins to compound. So let's get super practical here before this gets a little bit too heady, okay? When I first started email marketing, I had a few hundred people on my list, and I would send out an email every single day. And every single time I sent out an email, I made $10 or $15 or so, small amount of money. So I made a few $100s every month sending out an email every day. Not bad, right? I mean, I thought that was pretty good when I was getting started. But then here's where it gets exciting. Over time, my email list grew. More people joined. My subscriber base would reach a lot more people month after month. So naturally, my emails were growing to the point where I was making hundreds every day instead of hundreds every month. And then from there, I would make thousands per day rather than thousands per month. But not because I was sending more emails or because I built different courses or I had a totally different strategy or anything like that. I was doing the exact same thing that I was doing when it first began. I sent one email every single day. And do you remember our definition, or my definition rather, of passive income? Small actions that create compounding wealth. It didn't happen overnight, and I certainly had to work for it, right? But growing my email list became a perfect way to compound my wealth without adding more hours of work to my day. I'll give you another example. For those of you that haven't joined my ecosystem, about 4 or 5 years ago, I started a live 1-hour training webinar that took place every week, and I've absolutely never missed a week of this. It's called the Success Connection. And on this training, I teach everyone how to build digital marketing funnels. And I happen to use a software called ClickFunnels, and so I tell everybody about it. I'd give these funnels to my students for free, and basically, if they would sign up for ClickFunnels, I would receive affiliate commissions. And people needed ClickFunnels in order to use these funnels and in order to actually implement my training. So it kind of made sense to me. It made sense to them. It's a value for value thing. I mean, it's a good thing that I'm doing for people, right? But there's this byproduct of doing this good for people, and that is that they would sign up for ClickFunnels. And when I first started a few years ago, I would maybe make, a few $100s a month or so. I mean, I wasn't really paying much attention to it. But just like those emails, the number started to compound. Now I'm making tens of thousands of dollars a month. In fact, this month, a little over $80,000. But listen, I didn't add any webinars in each week. I didn't try to sell harder or do more. I did nothing any different. I didn't even extend the amount of time that the webinars take place. I just kept doing those small actions that resulted in compounding wealth. And look, every industry has these. You just have to look for it. You have to be on the lookout for it, right? Whatever you're promoting, from online courses to real estate, you know full well that there are those simple things that you can do every day that can turn into something huge. So my encouragement to you today is to find those things and don't let them tire you out, okay? Be energized by them, knowing that they are your key to success and the key to what we'd call passive income. And look, if you're looking at your skills and strengths and you're thinking, hey, I don't even have a job or an opportunity that could compound like the one you're talking about, then listen, at the end of the day, we're on the internet, right? Or we have the internet. You have access to the internet. You can look for places, look for things, look for new opportunities. That's what this whole Unlock Success podcast is all about. It's about getting you outside of your comfort zone, right? If you're in a job right now or in an industry right now that does not allow you to compound your wealth, right? And you're just trading hours for dollars, you got to realize that at some point that's going to stop, right? At some point you can't trade those hours for those dollars anymore. Maybe you're too sick, maybe you're too old, maybe you're too tired, maybe the business no longer exists. There's a lot of things that could cause that trading time for dollars to stop. So what you need to be doing is trading your time now for not just dollars today, but dollars in the future, right? And so I encourage you to use the power of the internet. Look up things that you like, things that you're interested in, right? Find the stuff that you feel like would be a great industry for you to get into. I'll give you an example. My niece, I brought her here on the Unlock Success podcast set about a month ago, and I, just asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up. We interviewed her. You can go back and look at one of the episodes of the Unlock Success podcast. It was great to interview a couple of kids, going through this crazy pandemic time and just get their perspective on what life was about. But she knows what I do for a living. She knows that I do internet marketing stuff. And she went home. She was she's 12 years old, by the way. She was inspired. So she started creating these bracelets, like handmade bracelets, and built her own little website. And now she's selling these awesome little bracelets for like $6. It's an awesome thing. It's crazy to see how inspired somebody can get just from, really just from being in one place, in the right place at the right time, I guess, right? But I say that to say she's 12 years old and she found something that she could do online to make some money. So I'm fairly certain you can find something. And then when you find that something, you look for those ways to add passive income to the model, right? And when you do that, your earning potential explodes. You eliminate trading time for money, and you set yourself up for future success. All right. So hopefully this episode of the Unlock Success podcast has given you something to think about. Hopefully you understand now maybe what our definition of passive income is. And if you agree with that definition, or if you like the sound of that compounding wealth, then get to it. Like, make it happen. The only thing standing between you and massive success, you and compounding wealth, is you and your decision to make it happen. So my encouragement to you today is to do your research, find an industry, a niche, and an opportunity that allows you to build compounding wealth and start creating that passive income that'll be there not only today, but also in the future. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Unlock Success podcast, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on the next episode of our Unlock Success podcast.